Welcome to another episode of Life According to Nikki.
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
I am so happy to be here with you today because boy oh boy do I have some thoughts to share on some recent watches. I have just really been in a movie mood. I know I haven't really talked about books as much, but that's because I'm currently in a movie situation. Just you wait, when this switches over to be a book mood, I will take you for a ride because I will read 4 books in a week. Easy. Especially if you're a series, forget it. I don't care how many books it is, it will be completed within the week. Whether that's a 12-book series or just a trilogy. It's a bit excessive, I know. But what I choose to do in my free time is what I choose to do, all right? And it's really making this podcast possible, so I think it's okay. Until my therapist tells me otherwise, then I'm just going to continue on this route. Let's start with some recent watches. I went to the theater and saw Argylle. I had a gift card. I was going out with a friend. Her name is Kiyana. I love her so much. She will be on the podcast next month. I'm very excited about it. We went to go see this movie. I personally wanted to go see Anyone But You, but that, for whatever reason, wasn't really playing, and Mean Girls, the musical, wasn't playing. So I thought, okay, I have Argylle on my watch list. Why not? But I went in pretty blind. I didn't remember what the plot was going in. And let me tell ya, Argylle was unlike anything I've watched before, which is saying something. After we finished watching it, we were in the car driving back and we started having a conversation about the movie, and I just decided to record the conversation because I thought, well, maybe I could take some ideas of what we were talking about and use it for when I talk about the movie. But we ended up going on what I consider to be a hilarious rant about the film, and I managed to upload the video and get the audio. So instead of me just kind of explaining what we thought about it, I thought you could just hear it firsthand minutes after we exit the theater. We're laughing hysterically, so hopefully you can understand it, but I do think it is worth listening to. So without further ado, here is our thoughts on Argylle.
We just watched Argylle.
Yes.
And it was a trip. We went from here to the moon and then to another galaxy, and then we came back. And somehow we're in Nikki's car driving to mine. But first, Sam Rockwell always plays the weird sidekick, derpiest person in a movie, and he was strangely attractive. I have never been attracted to this man.
It really goes to show that any guy has potential. You know, like, put him in the right setting.
Just like the homeless beard while fighting people did something.
It was turning a gear on I didn't know I had.
Also, I thought John Cena's character was pretty great.
I just can't get over the fact that it was 10 hours long.
It felt like we watched a whole series.
That's exactly what it felt like.
And it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it felt like we walked out and it was 2 a.m. and we entered a space worm.
Yes.
When we walked into that theater and we just popped out the other end.
It pooped us out.
Is this what acid feels like? Because I can see why people do it.
I said I would ask my brother.
Oh
He lives an alternative lifestyle. This movie was something else.
See, here's the thing, is at the pitch meeting, it was a creative writing class.
Oh, yeah.
And any ideas were on the table. And
the twists never end, and they agreed to all of them.
Yeah. It was as if you took a classroom full and you gave them all the same prompt. Everybody had a different idea and you added all of them into the movie.
You took a 10-minute storyboard from each person.
Yes.
And threw it in there.
But it somehow worked.
It was like James Bond meet Get Smart and Master of Disguise without the disguises. But it worked.
As a self-acclaimed movie critic, I don't understand why I liked it so much. But I was hysterically laughing. I was getting whiplash from all the twists and the turns.
You can predict the twists
You
and
can't.
how it ends, you are wrong.
Yeah, I'd love to meet the person that's like, yeah, I saw it all coming. No, you didn't.
No.
If one single person tells me that that movie was unsurprising, that's
They're
pick me
lying.
energy.
Yes, pick me, yes.
That's pick me energy, and I don't believe you. Yeah, and honestly, it makes you look stupid because nobody can predict that.
Stop,
Yeah,
please.
enough.
I will say, this is not really a spoiler. There's some dancing.
Oh.
Unexpected dancing.
Yeah, it was almost like, should we be a musical too? But without music.
I wish it was.
I wish it was a musical as well. I think they would have had some bangers.
That was amazing.
What's your rating out of 10?
I'm pretty picky with 10, so I'll give it like 8.5, 9. For entertainment value. I was thoroughly entertained.
It was unearthly.
Yeah, alien. But so
way.
relatable. Not like freaky.
Yeah, in a good way. That was just, I have no words. I'm still reeling. It's like going through a car accident and then it ends, but you're like uninjured.
Was this real?
Like you look back, you see all the damage.
Outer body experience.
Yeah.
Very, what's the word? Ethereal?
Yes. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, what's your rating?
I gotta say, because I couldn't see a thing coming, I'm almost speechless. It did something to me. I like to say that I like movies that take me on a journey. It was a space odyssey that I went on.
Almost had a sci-fi feel, but for spies.
I don't quite know how I feel, but I liked it. It's gotta be a solid 7.
For your personal rating system.
Yeah, because there was so many things happening. The fact that I can have an 8-minute conversation about it after, and I enjoyed myself.
I have to say, knowing you with movies,
Yes.
I said this on the way out of the theater. I didn't know how you were feeling about it, but I kept looking over and you were in it.
Oh, I was absolutely
We were
in it.
laughing at the same time, and I was like, okay.
I would say this is one worth experiencing in a theater.
Yes!
I don't know if it would hit the same at home.
No.
I think I would be bored and think it was like maybe kind of dumb.
And maybe
At
just
home.
one F word,
Oh, was there?
perfectly placed. I only pay attention because I got a 2-year-old. Yeah, we don't need her walking around Smith saying the F word.
Understandable. Training them up right. I feel like a lot of people would like it.
For me, it was amazing. I think it's going to be 2 extremes. Some people are going to really hate it,
Yes.
and some people are going to really love it.
Yes.
But not like a ton in the middle.
I would agree with that statement. I'm going to say people are going to give it like an 8.5.
Yeah.
Or a 1. We went places I didn't know we could go.
Yeah.
They strapped a jetpack on and we took off. I did not know when we were going to come down.
Okay, my one critique, getting to the end, I think could have happened 2 fight scenes earlier.
I'm about to ask a
Yeah,
question.
go for it.
As a sex educator, I feel like there is an analogy or allegory that could be taken from this movie.
Yes. It was a
It's
bit
a
marathon,
marathon
but
sex.
if I'm being real, it
Yes.
was more like you almost got there and then he moved his hand.
Okay.
Over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
I think-
Until finally, it was a good one.
Oh my gosh. That's what I was wondering, is I was like,
You know when you almost sneeze and then stop? And I really hate comparing O's to sneezes, but this one works okay.
see, I thought the smoke heart, that was a resolve for me.
I thought it was gonna be over there. I thought that was the climax.
I thought so too. It wasn't over for another hour. It felt like
Pretty sure it was like 30 minutes, but yeah, 30 minutes is a long time. Literally and figuratively. It was a long time.
If we're just taking it as an analogy, like,
But you know what? The journey was worth it.
yeah, I felt complete at the end.
Yeah. We made it. We
Communication.
finished and we loved it. It will be 2 months before we go back.
We're gonna be talking about that for a while.
2 a.m. reminiscing, but we will not be stepping into it. Be like, remember that one time, babe.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
clients, I'll be like, have you seen Argylle?
It's very exploratory.
They'd spend a little too long in certain places.
You find a lot about what you like and what you hate.
But what I like about it most is they tried a lot of different things.
Okay, we'll reel it in. We'll reel it in a little bit. It was amazing. Everyone should see it in the theater. Love the sex analogy. That was great. It was great.
I felt like it was there.
It was not multiple. It was almost there, pulled back like 6 times.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Oh my gosh, so stinking funny. I really enjoyed going back and editing that entire audio. It was very enjoyable for me. So I hope that this encouraged you to go and see Argylle, but also go in with proper expectations and ready to have a good time. I did look up some reviews after I got home because I wanted to know what other people were thinking, and it seems like we're all on the same page. One review was titled, "That was crazy." Another says, "Utterly ridiculous but fun. A fun and entertaining couple of hours." But my personal favorite, and the one I relate to most, was someone who said, "Argylle. It's really dumb, but it's also fun." That is exactly what I would title my review if I wrote one. It just goes to show that sometimes I am down for just a plain old entertaining movie. No matter what my friends and family may think, I can be pleased with something that is on the dumber side, okay? I may not like Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre or anything like that. Those aren't really my style, but there are some movies that are exceptions, and this was one of them. I hate to say it, it was. I don't know what it was about it, but it will be the exception to the rule for me. You know what didn't make the cut this week, though? That was not an exception. The movie is called Float, with my favorite, Robbie Amell. Oh, he is so gorgeous. I was very excited about this movie because the trailer made it look so stinking cute. And here's the part that upsets me most. Not that I watched it and hated it, but the fact that I own this film. Yeah, I had to pay for it, and there was only a $2 difference between renting it on Amazon Prime and owning it, and I thought, well, the trailer looked so cute and it has Robbie Amell in it, so I'm probably gonna want to watch this again. I might as well just pay the $2 extra now and own it. There is nothing quite like that regret. What can I say? It was horrible. Before it even started, it had a flash that came up that said based on Wattpad, and immediately I knew we were in trouble. How dare they not warn me about that before I bought it? For anybody that doesn't know what Wattpad is, let me do a little bit of education, all right? I hope you're sitting down because we are now in class. Wattpad is a platform for writers and for readers. A lot of times it's teens and young adults that are really into Wattpad. It is a very good intro into smut books, which I will get into smut books and the scale of smut books when I have my friend Kiara on, because we're going to do a deep dive into the Colleen Hoover books. I personally am a Colleen Hoover hater, but she is a lover, and I thought she would be the perfect person to have this conversation with. But I'm going to classify smut as anything more than a fade to black. For Wattpad, it's just a platform for anybody to write anything that they want, and then people will read it. And a lot of people go on Wattpad because there's a lot of smut writing on there. A lot of times it stems from fan fiction, and that can be from other books, movies, or even just people. So there's a whole genre of One Direction on Wattpad. You can have fanfic about different members of the group getting together, or a member of the group getting with somebody else. Have you ever heard of the movies After? AFTER on Netflix. Yeah, there's 5 of them now. That was Wattpad. That was originally a Wattpad story that got really popular. I think it started off as like 50 pages or something. It was fan fiction of Harry Styles. And then a lot of teenage girls digested that. It got really popular, so a lot of times you can interact with the person who's writing it, and then they can write more and release more. It's really just a whole entire community that you can be a part of. You know, kind of like Reddit, but for book people. Okay, now I would be absolutely remiss if I did not talk about the movie After without mentioning Dylan Is in Trouble on YouTube. His movie commentary on the entire After series is amazing. It is absolutely hilarious. You've heard me talk about him before. Hopefully you went and watched his Twilight rewatch of all of the Twilight movies back when I made that episode. But I'm telling you, it is worth watching. The after movies are terrible. They are class A trash in my opinion. I get why some people like them. I do. But again, I don't want something that doesn't actually have a plot and has nothing but toxic relationships. That is not for me. What is for me is Dylan watching them and making fun of them. You feel like you watched the whole movie, even though it's only been 30 minutes. It is just the best of both worlds. You're able to still be in the know on what happens and why people like this film, but you also get his hilarious commentary. Again, he does say the F word. He has some pretty foul language, so fair warning there. But if that doesn't bother you, I highly recommend go watch his entire After series. It is worth the watch, let me tell ya. Just as a reminder, I do put all of the pictures of everything that I talk about on the Instagram, so make sure to check that out. In case you forget, I will have Dylan on there. And also the spelling of Wattpad, because it's actually Wattpad. I'm from Utah, so obviously I don't pronounce the T's. But anyways, back to Wattpad. There is a ton of Harry Potter fan fiction. That's mainly what I got into it for. I was really into the whole Hermione Draco fanfic. I read Harry Potter my senior year. I had never read it before then. And directly after, I needed more, you know? So where do you go? You go to Wattpad for more. And I was really into that. But this one might surprise you. 50 Shades of Grey started as a Wattpad. It was a fanfic of Edward Cullen from the Twilight series that was written and then got really popular. She ended up writing an entire book, released it, now it's movies. So this whole platform is now starting to be this place where writers can go on, just get a lot of popularity, and it'll be picked up by Netflix, I guess. But the thing is, this is very amateur writing for a lot of them. They're teenagers writing this. I mean, some of them are adults, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is just some teenager writing, you know, some fantasy of fan fiction, which I totally respect. Obviously, I've read it, but they're not like solid plots, okay? They're not well thought out. There's no editor, and a lot of them should really stay on this platform. They really shouldn't be published. You know, maybe that's me projecting my personal opinions, but this is my podcast, so at the end of the day, it is only my personal opinions here. For me, I like my books to have, I don't know, substance to them, and you don't find that a lot on Wattpad, which is why I didn't last very long, because I'm not really here for erotica. That's not really my style. I can see why it's a lot of women's, but I don't know, just really not for me. But hey, zero judgment if Wattpad is your thing. If you've never heard of Wattpad, it might be worth looking into. I don't know, think of a fandom that you like. It can be pretty entertaining to just look up and see what's been written about that fandom. If you're bored this week, you know, give it a try. I watched this movie with 2 other people, and we were pumped about it because, again, the trailer made it look so fun. From about 5 minutes into the film, I was over it. I was really confused because it was so bad. The acting was incredibly awkward. It wasn't necessarily the main characters. I thought they did a pretty okay job. It was all of the side characters and the plot. It was just terrible. I mean, I don't know what more there is to say. Again, this is one of those things where I feel like I could do a deep dive into everything wrong with it, but then I would make you all have to watch it. And for this one, it's not worth it. Please don't. I know Robbie Amell is gorgeous. Trust me, I know. The only positive thing I have to say about it is it was gorgeous scenery-wise. They filmed it in British Columbia. I had to look it up because it was so stunning. Wherever they filmed it, that was the only thing that I can say about it. That was good. Nothing else. So save yourself the time and save yourself the money and don't watch Float. Okay, now don't get me wrong. Don't watch Float. But the idea behind the movie was pretty good. obviously. I wanted to watch it. And it brought up this discussion with one of my friends who I watched the movie with about movies that had a really good idea but completely failed in execution. I immediately thought I could talk about that on my podcast. So I'm going to call this next segment Failed Potential. First up, we have the 2011 movie In Time, starring the one and only Justin Timberlake. What a good idea for a film. I mean, just listen to this plot summary. Welcome to a world where time has become the ultimate currency. You stop aging at 25, but there's a catch. You're genetically engineered to live only one more year unless you can buy your way out of it. The rich earn decades at a time, becoming essentially immortal, while the rest beg, borrow, or steal hours to make it through the day. When a man from the wrong side of the tracks is falsely accused of murder, he is forced to go on the run with a beautiful hostage. Living minute to minute, the duo's love becomes a powerful tool in their war against the system. Who came up with that? Because you're a genius. What an incredible concept. But wow, did that movie suck. It just hurts to think about, in the right hands with the right director and writers, that could have been iconic. It could have been Inception or The Matrix. But no, it was forgettable and dumb. Next, we have What Happened to Monday. TikTok, back when I had it, you tricked the crap out of me with this one. All right, I saw the trailer. Some girl was talking about the concept of the movie, how incredible it was. I was so pumped to watch it. Watch the trailer for What Happened to Monday. It looked so interesting. I would read the plot summary, but I actually just did, and it makes no sense. It's not very well written, which is really kind of connecting some dots into why the movie was unsuccessful. For 2/3 of the movie, it had me. I was like, this is such an interesting concept. This is so good. And then it wasn't. And it is not worth watching. It was very disappointing, and I do want someone to remake this. Can we stop remaking Cinderella and Spider-Man for a second, and let's take all of these really good ideas that weren't well done, and let's remake these? Why aren't we doing this? What Happened to Monday, in the right hands, could be incredible. There's a new movie called Robots, starring Shailene Woodley from, a lot of different things. Divergent, for one. And the concept, again, was so cool that you have this society in the future where we have robots that do everything for us. You can create a robot that looks like you, and so she has her robot go to work for her, go on dates for her, and then so does this guy, and their robots fall in love and leave them, basically. So now they gotta come together to get their robots back. I probably explained that in kind of a dumb way, but the trailer was pretty good. I got about 30 minutes in before I had to give up on this one. The other two I actually finished. This one was so stupid. The beginning I was actually convinced is our future, but the chemistry between Shailene Woodley and the main character, there was none. It gave me the vibes being assigned to come up with an idea for a project, and you come up with a really great idea, but then you find out the next week that you have to put your idea into action, and you're like, oh, well, I thought it was hypothetical. This is gonna be kind of a lot of work. And then all of a sudden a month's gone by, the due date's next week, and you just kind of have to throw something together. That's what this movie felt like to me. Good idea, but where did we go? Why did you choose those directions? It just, no, people. No. And it makes me upset to think how many millions of dollars were wasted on that piece of trash. Radium Girls, starring Joey King. This one is actually a true story. So it's not even an idea, it was something that really happened, which makes it even more unfortunate that they did such a bad job making it. Because I actually think that this could have been something really great and sparked a really good conversation about the Radium Girls and what happened to them. You might have heard about this in history. Okay, back in the 1920s, there was a watch company and they used radium to make them glow. So they had all of these women workers, a lot of them were in their young 20s. They would paint the numbers on the watches and dials. After they painted each number, they would need to make the paintbrush slick again so it was pointed to write the next number. Now, you could do that with your other fingers, making it nice and stiff again, or you could put it in your mouth, pull it out, and make it stiff that way. And that's of course what they did because they were paid by the watch, not by the hour. So it was a lot faster for them to dip the paintbrush in the radium, paint it onto the watch, stick it in their mouth to dip it in the paint again. But radium is poison for us. But yet they were still allowing the girls to put it in their mouths and be exposed to radium. So of course, over time, a lot of these girls started experiencing radiation poisoning, and they had very painful deaths. Radiation is very harmful for you. This is how we kill cancer cells. X-rays and stuff, you gotta wear the huge vest. This is all because of exposure to radiation. And they were not only being just exposed to it, but they were ingesting it. And it would lock up their jaws. It had terrible effects on them. You have a few of the girls, and they go up against this very big company fighting for the rights of the workers to have safer working conditions, and for them to admit that what they were doing was wrong and that they knew they were poisoning the women. It's a very profound story and actually shaped a lot of our procedure with radiation now, which is why it was really disappointing to me that the movie wasn't good. A more lighthearted one that I found disappointing was Happiness for Beginners. This had the lead actress in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and Casey, the brother that's in Yellowstone, who I find very attractive in that show. Once again, I was excited, thought it looked cute, the idea was awesome, but it didn't lead me anywhere. I felt like it was such a missed opportunity with this one. It felt lazy to me, and I was especially disappointed because it was a woman director. More recently, the women directors of a lot of these rom-coms have just been hitting it out of the park, because they're appealing to the female gaze instead of the male gaze. I could go on about that forever, but this one really missed the mark for me on multiple counts, and for that, I am deeply sad. Okay, this next one might ruffle a couple feathers. Boyhood. Now stick with me. Remember, this segment isn't movies that I thought were bad, although I know I've said that about all the other ones, but truly this segment is about movies that I felt like had a really good idea, but I think their execution of the idea was bad. Do I think Boyhood is a bad film? No. It was okay. It was quite extraordinary what they did. And the concept, this idea of taking a young boy and filming this movie over the course of 12 years, that is extraordinary. And personally, I'd love to see what the contract looked like for that young boy who signed on, whether he wanted to or not, to be filmed all the way into his adulthood. But, that aside, awesome idea. But if I'm being totally honest, I feel like the execution on this movie was not well done. It didn't move me. It really didn't, which is unfortunate because I feel like you had mad potential to move me with this storyline and seeing a child's progression. I do agree that the acting of the mom was really good, and I'm not saying that she didn't deserve her Oscar. Sure, she can have it. But just overall, the plot didn't really go anywhere for me, and it all felt like a gimmick. I think that it won so many awards because it took a long time to make and a lot of sacrifice went into it, but do I actually think that it was deserving of all of those awards? No, I don't. I do not. And I stand by that, tentatively. I'm not going to die on this hill, but I will slightly defend it. I'll put up a fight for a couple minutes, and then if you strongly disagree, I'll come down. I didn't hate it, so I didn't have strong enough feelings to really plant my flag and say, yeah, this is my resting place. But I do stand by the fact that it wasn't that great. But let me know if you disagree, honestly. Maybe I need a different perspective on this one. But from where I'm sitting right now, great idea, didn't like what they did with it. Here's just a rapid fire of a couple of others. I recently watched Lift with Kevin Hart. I talked about that in my last episode. Great idea. Oh, what a stupid movie though. The Hating Game, also spoken on this one. My friend Jamie, I think her quote describes this movie best. If a porno tried to have a plot, that is The Hating Game. Terrible, don't watch it. But the idea of this enemies to lover in a workspace, now that I could get down with, but the book and the movie are gonna be a no for me. Space Force. Oh my gosh. This TV series, it had Steve Carell in it from The Office and a bunch of other comedians. Oh my gosh, the potential was unlimited. It was all there. If I were to do an analogy of Space Force, it would be a privileged white teen in America that grew up in upper middle class home that had every opportunity, two loving parents, a dad with a stable job, parents that were together, a stay-at-home mom that had a side gig, dual income household, but yet through it all, he decided to go and do drugs and became a bum on the street, homeless and alone, and you're like, what happened? You had so much given to you. You had nothing but privilege. What was the problem? You had nothing but opportunity, and you wasted it away when there's so many other people that were more deserving, but no, it was all given to you, and this is where you ended up? That's how I feel about Space Force. It had so many comedians. It had an incredible plot. I was so excited. It could have done great things. But no, of course not. It just wasted millions of dollars that could have gone to better people that would have done more with it. Good on Paper also had a lot of potential. The main actress in that one is a comedian I really like, Eliza Schlesinger. Go watch her, she's hilarious, but not in this movie. But the idea in the pitch room was probably amazing because I really liked what they said the movie was gonna be. And the last two are gonna be The Hustle with Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson. Man, this movie was just so not fun. And then Table 19, starring Anna Kendrick. You had me in the beginning, you had me in the middle, but as with a lot of these things, you lost me in the end. So many untapped good ideas that someone tried, they made an attempt, it failed, but I don't understand why we can't just try again, you know? So to any young directors out there, how about instead of coming up with a brand new idea that's kind of dumb, just take these really good ideas and make them into what they could have been. Thank you. I think that rant is now complete. I feel a bit of catharsis. Yeah, no, I feel good knowing that other people know not to watch these things. I feel like I've done a public service, you know? Feels good to be a hero. Man, would you look at the time? I intended for this to be a tiny little segment, and it seems to have taken over the entire episode. But you know what? I don't feel bad about it. To end, let's just do a couple scattered thoughts, shall we? Just to switch it up, give you a little something else. Here are the latest things that I've written in the notes section on my phone. Starting off, why can't I schedule my text to send like I can an email? I mean, I'm writing emails at 1 a.m, clicking those 3 little bubbles, saying, send at 8:05 a.m. Why in the world is there not an option for this for text message? And then bullet point down, why is it new technology that I can edit my texts? But I can only do it with the iPhone text. I can't do it from my iPhone to an Android. I send that text and that's final. There's no changing it. I can't take that back in any way. How are we in 2024 and I can't edit my text? I don't understand. I don't get it. Someone please explain why the technology is just so hard and advanced that we're not there yet. Feels like if we're making cars that drive by themselves, I should be able to make my ADN into AND without having to send another text with an asterisk. You know? Next we have, why are there so many rules for how to write a paper? You have MLA, APA, etc. It is a nightmare trying to figure out what all those rules are. I remember in college, I had to write a bibliography paper in APA format, and I went into the writing lab because, hello, I'm not writing that by myself, and we spent an hour going through whether or not I should do a double space, a triple space, 2-tab in, whether something had to be italicized versus not italicized. Why? Why is it this way? And why do you have to be an English major to know all of those rules? Why are there so many rules? This is just one of those things I don't understand. Someone please explain it to me. I could see the argument of, well, then it's all the same. But why does the formatting look so stupid then? Why did I go through all of this work? And when I'm looking at it aesthetically, you're telling me that this is the best way to do it? That this is the least complicated? Babe, no, it's not. That was so complicated. And in the end, it doesn't look clean. It doesn't look clear. What are we doing? We're gaslighting the crap out of each other. And I think someone needs to put their foot down and say, hey, let's just all go back to Times New Roman, 12-point font, 1-inch margins, do a tab on a new paragraph, all right? I think we should stop with every other type of writing style. Anyone else with me on this? Please raise your hand. Okay, speaking of the writing lab, I have written literally as my next bullet point, college hacks. Okay, listen up if you are in school, because I am about to give away just so much free advice. I was a 3.9 GPA student in college. I went to college for 6 years. All right, I know my way around a classroom. I also know what it feels like to lose your program accreditation in your last semester and have to do 2 more years of school. But that's besides the point. The point is, why are you writing all of your own papers and doing all your own research? Because in the end, you're writing crap papers and you're spending hours doing dumb research. Here's what you do. Anyone that is a new student in college, I want you to do this and watch it change your life. You are given an assignment and they tell you you need 7 peer-reviewed sources. I feel like the average college student goes on Google Scholar and they type in, whatever subject that they're trying to research, and then they just spend forever getting results that aren't so great, but they're doing it super last minute, so then they're getting stressed, and these papers that they're grabbing aren't really what they're looking for, but hey, they're in a bind. They gotta write this 10-page paper overnight, so they're just choosing crappy articles, picking one sentence out with no context. No, guys, stop that. First off, stop procrastinating, okay? I know I'm the wrong person to say this because I don't procrastinate. That's not something that my personality allows me to do, and to an extent, yes, I am very jealous of you procrastinators. I know that you're gonna look at me and say, don't be jealous, it sucks, it's so stressful. Well, put yourself in my shoes for 5 seconds. I find out that something is due 4 weeks from now, I'm stressed today about it. You guys at least have 3.5 weeks to not be stressed. No, I'm stressed day 1. But I will say it comes with its advantages because then I can really pace out what I'm going to do. I come up with a plan. I'm not going to come up with all of this stuff overnight. That's impossible for me. So I get assigned a 10-page paper and I need 7 resources that are all peer-reviewed. Before I'm even thinking of topics, I'm scheduling an appointment with the school librarian. Like, I'm on my laptop typing in the chat box, okay? Because why would I waste my brain power trying to come up with something that someone else went to 6 years of college to do with me? And they like this. Guys, I'm telling you, you are not using the school librarians enough. They are just untapped resources, and because they're not used, they are more than willing to help you out. Because this is what they love. This is their passion. And really, the reason you want to use them is because they understand how the databases work. Stick with me. You talk to the librarian and you say, hey, I have this 10-page paper. I need these resources to be peer-reviewed. They know how to research. That is their job, to help you come up with the right keywords and the way to put them into the system to find what you're looking for. If you just type in a sentence of what you're researching, it is going to take each one of those words. That's why you're not finding the results that you want. But this person that got a master's degree in, librarian work, I actually don't know what their degree is. Someone tell me what their qualification is. They know that if you put parentheses around a certain word or you do an asterisk next to this word, it's going to manipulate the database system into finding what you're looking for. So within minutes, they are going to be able to find all of the articles that you need versus you spending hours finding subpar things. I really just can't emphasize this enough, you guys. So I would go to the librarians and I would tell them, hey, here's my class, and then we would be able to brainstorm together what my topic would be. This way I don't have to sit there alone at home trying to come up with something. No, I'm going to take 10 minutes and do it with a professional. Then we're going to come up with the right keywords that I'm going to use. They're going to be sitting right there, either in person or just over chat, and they're going to be looking up stuff for me. And then we can kind of curate it. They can feed you different word choices to try. By the end of 30 minutes, I already have 5 articles that are perfect for what I'm looking for, and I have about 12 keywords that I never would have come up with on my own, ready to go to research if I need more. And they also have access to not only your college's library, but all the other colleges that your library is connected to. Google Scholar doesn't have that. A lot of the articles that would actually be helpful, you have to pay for, but your school has access to tons of those. And if they don't, they have a system that allows them to borrow them from other colleges. This is why you pay tuition. Is it overpriced? Abso-freaking-lutely it is. But this is why you gotta use these resources. Because if you're paying thousands of dollars, let them do the work for you. Oh my gosh, this is a hill I will die on, because I was not gonna pay thousands of dollars to do my own homework. That's actually crazy to me. No, I am gonna have people here to help me, because I don't want to be here. But that was mainly because I felt like I was doing a lot of useless homework that wasn't actually helpful to me, you know? But anyways, besides the point. You go to your librarian, they help you get all your articles, everything like that. You then do not use any of your own brain power. You set up an appointment with the writing lab with students that are paid to help you. I would set an appointment, go in with all of the information that the librarian gave me. I haven't given it a second thought. I go in there and I spend an hour outlining my paper. I can't tell you how motivating this is, because the thought of sitting down and writing a 10-page paper to me makes me want to throw up. That sounds awful to me. This whole idea of just like coming up with something, I'm incapable of that. And I truly believe in my heart that there are not that many people that can just make up stuff out of their butt that actually sounds good. Do I believe that a lot of people do make up stuff and just, have it written on a paper? Oh, definitely. But is it good? No. I think there are actually very few people that have that ability. All these people that are like, yeah, I wrote my 5-page paper last night. I bet your 5-page paper wasn't that good. I bet if I read it, I could see ChatGPT all over it. I don't really care what grade you got on it. If we're just really, truly looking at content, probably not that well written. But anyways, I go to the writing lab, I will do an outline and brainstorm some ideas of how to write my paper and what direction to go. That way I don't really have to think about it that much. When I do sit down to write it, I already have a direction. And I can do a paragraph or 2 of this topic that we discussed and a paragraph or 2 of this. That's no problem. So that way I take a lot of the stress out of actually writing the paper. And then you go back to the writing lab for them to edit all of your mistakes out. And with ChatGPT, of course, this makes it even easier, because now you can just plug it all in. It'll write something for you. Then you can just take it to the writing lab and, tweak it a bit. And boom, you got a 10-page paper with your resources, and it's actually something worth reading. You guys, you've got to use the resources at college. There's so many of them. I went to UVU, the Women's Success Center. Are you kidding me? They were incredible. I got scholarships through them. They have success coaching. That's how I got to the Virgin Islands. I went in and I was like, hey, what do you guys do? And they were like, oh, we help women on campus. I paid my $5 admission fee and then ended up getting a $1,500 scholarship through them. I had a couple success coaching sessions where basically I just told them, here's what I want to do with my life. And then they know all of the resources at the college and they say, oh, well, if you want this, then you should go talk to so-and-so. And if you want this, you should go speak with them. And I did. I was like, I want to travel. How do I do that? And they told me about programs that I didn't even know existed. I feel like everyone knows about like study abroad. I had no idea that there was an entire exchange program called National Student Exchange where you can pay your tuition to your university and go attend a different university anywhere in the US that's partnering with this program. It's like hundreds of universities, and that also includes US territories like Guam, the US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. You can do that. You can pay your school's tuition, whatever you're paying, and go attend another university and get all the credits to transfer back. And when I did that for the Virgin Islands, I was able to get not only a scholarship through UVU because I was paying my tuition to UVU, so I qualified for all of that, but I also got a scholarship at the University of the Virgin Islands that paid for all of my housing for that semester because I was a registered student at that university. You can double dip, baby! And the only reason that I knew all of this is because I talked to people and I said, what do you do? That question has so much power in a university setting. Go into every unlocked door and say, what do you do? How can you help me? What hidden secret do you wish every student at this university knew? Because I'm telling you, there are so many resources. These universities have millions of dollars. And if you're going to pay thousands to go there, you should get your money's worth. And that, I think, is a great place to end because I think I've spent long enough on this and I highly doubt that I will have a lot of people listening to this that are still in college. But you know, if you are, or if you're going to go back to school or anything like that, please, for me, use those resources. They're there for you. You don't have to be anybody special. You don't got to do anything special. You just have to have a student ID number. That thing will unlock so many doors for you. So take advantage of it while you have it. I did for a nice 6 long years, which is what got me to live in different countries and have a made-up degree. Anyways, thank you so much for giving me an outlet for all of my rants and my passions and the things that I just strongly believe because I need it. Clearly, these things have been bottled up for so long and I just need somebody to hear them. So thanks for listening. You guys are awesome. These have been my thoughts on life because this is Life According to Nikki.